Sometimes, the hardest goodbyes are the ones that come without warning, the kind where someone suddenly drifts away, leaving behind a silence that feels louder than words. You wonder what went wrong, why they left, and how something that felt so right could disappear overnight. But what if that separation wasn't a mistake? What if it was divine intervention? When God removes a person from your life, it's never random. It's a powerful act of love, protection, and redirection, even when it feels like heartbreak. We often think that losing someone means we've failed, or that life has taken something precious from us. In truth, God sometimes steps in to save us from situations that our hearts are too attached to let go of. He sees things we can't, conversations behind our backs, intentions hidden behind smiles, and futures that could lead to more pain than peace. While we hold on out of love, fear, or habit, God knows that letting go is the only way to make room for what's truly meant for us. This moment of loss can become the turning point of your life, the moment you stop chasing what's not yours and start trusting divine timing. When God removes someone, He's not punishing you. He's preparing you. He's aligning your path with something higher, purer, and more peaceful. The heartbreak you're feeling is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your transformation. So if someone has left, don't see it as rejection. See it as God's protection. The pain you're feeling now is the doorway to your purpose, your peace, and your destiny. Let go, breathe, and trust that the one who sees everything is guiding you towards something far more beautiful than what you just lost. When God removes a person from your life, it can be one of the most painful experiences you'll ever go through. Sometimes it feels like your heart has been torn open, your world has stopped, and you can't understand why something so meaningful had to end. You might replay memories over and over, wondering what you did wrong or how things could have gone differently. But the truth is, when God takes someone out of your life, He is protecting you from what you can't yet see and guiding you towards something better that you can't yet imagine. It's not punishment, it's redirection. When we form deep emotional or spiritual connections with people, we often think they're meant to stay forever. But not every person is meant to walk with you through your entire journey. Some are only meant to be there for a season, to teach you a lesson, to help you grow, or to awaken something inside you that you didn't know existed. You might think losing them is a tragedy, but in God's greater plan, it's often a blessing in disguise. Sometimes He removes people to protect your peace, your destiny, and your soul. There are times when He knows that keeping them in your life would cause more harm than good, even if your heart can't see it yet. Maybe you were attached to someone who was draining your energy, constantly pulling you down, or making you question your worth. You might have been praying for peace, healing, or strength, without realizing that the very person you were clinging to was the source of your pain. God listens to every silent prayer, and sometimes the answer comes in the form of separation. You don't lose people by accident, especially not when you've prayed for guidance. The disconnection you're feeling might be the exact thing you need to become who you're meant to be. God's removal is not rejection, it's protection and preparation. There are moments when you'll try to fight against God's will, trying to hold on to what's leaving you. You'll text them again, check their social media, hope they come back, or ask for one more chance. But every time you chase what God is trying to remove, you delay your own healing. You block the blessings waiting for you on the other side of obedience. The reason it hurts so much is because your human heart doesn't understand what your spirit already knows. Something better is coming. God will never take something away unless He plans to replace it with something far greater. The pain you're feeling right now is the breaking of old attachments that no longer serve your growth. Sometimes God removes people because their season in your life is over. They've already taught you what they were meant to teach. Maybe they taught you strength, patience, forgiveness, or how to love yourself again. Once the lesson is complete, the relationship has fulfilled its divine purpose. If you keep forcing what's meant to end, it will only cause more suffering. When God closes a door, He's not being cruel. He's saving you from walking through something that could destroy your peace. Your job is not to reopen the door that He has shut, but to trust that His plan is leading you towards something that will finally make sense. There are also times when God separates you from someone because they can't go where He's taking you. Your next chapter requires a higher version of yourself, one that's lighter, wiser, and freer from old patterns. Some people aren't ready to grow at the same pace as you. If they stayed, they would hold you back, keeping you stuck in a cycle that no longer aligns with your calling. It's not that they're bad people. It's that your paths are simply no longer meant to cross. God sees the bigger picture. He knows the conversations you never heard, the intentions you couldn't see, and the future you can't yet comprehend. When He removes someone, it's because He knows that your destiny depends on it. You might think that letting go means forgetting, but that's not true. Letting go means accepting. It means releasing the need to understand every reason why. It means trusting that what's meant for you will never require you to chase it. God's plans are built on peace, not confusion. If a relationship constantly brings anxiety, pain, and uncertainty, it's usually a sign that it's not aligned with your divine path. When something is from God, it flows naturally. It doesn't have to be forced. The more you surrender, the more you allow blessings to flow into your life effortlessly. Many people confuse attachment with love. Love is freeing, but attachment is binding. When you're attached, you fear losing what gives you comfort, even if it's hurting you. God often removes people to break those unhealthy attachments so you can learn to depend on Him instead of them. He wants you to find your worth not in someone else's presence, but in His love for you. When He becomes the center of your life, no loss can truly break you because you realize that everything else is temporary. The people who are meant to stay will find their way back in divine timing, and those who leave were never meant to stay permanently. You may notice that after some people leave, your life begins to feel lighter. You start rediscovering yourself. You have more time, more clarity, and more inner peace. That's not a coincidence. That's God clearing space for new blessings. You begin to understand that sometimes subtraction is the first step to multiplication. By removing one person, God makes room for many better things. Real love, new opportunities, spiritual growth, and peace of mind. What you thought was an ending was actually a beginning. You had to lose something familiar to gain something far greater. But the process isn't always easy. Healing takes time. You'll miss them, you'll think about them, and you might even feel like your heart is breaking. Yet in those moments, remember that God never wastes pain. Every tear, every sleepless night, every unanswered question is shaping you into the person you were meant to become. Your heartbreak becomes your transformation. You learn how to set boundaries, how to love yourself deeper, and how to trust divine timing. Pain is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to awaken you. Over time, you'll look back and realize that what you thought was the worst thing to happen to you was actually one of the best. The people who left made space for those who truly belong. The doors that closed led you to ones you never knew existed. You'll see how everything fit together perfectly, how God's plan was working even when you couldn't see it. You'll finally understand that His no was really a not yet, and that His silence was protection, not neglect. So when God removes a person from your life, don't chase them. Don't beg, don't question, and don't look back. Instead, thank Him for caring about you enough to intervene. Thank Him for saving you from pain you didn't know was coming. Thank Him for believing that you deserve more than what you were settling for. Letting go is not giving up. It's giving in to divine wisdom. It's choosing peace over pain, faith over fear, and trust over control. The moment you stop chasing what's gone is the moment new energy begins to flow. You attract better relationships, deeper peace, and true joy. You stop trying to make people stay, and you start trusting that those meant for you will never leave. That's where real freedom begins. When you finally understand that God's plan will never require you to beg for what's already yours. The person who left didn't take your destiny with them. They simply made room for it to unfold. What's coming will heal everything that left you broken. So breathe, release, and trust. Every ending carries a new beginning. Every loss carries a hidden gift. Every goodbye carries God's whisper, I'm making room for something greater. And when that something greater finally arrives, you'll realize why you had to let go. You'll no longer ask, why did they leave? But instead you'll say, thank you, God, for removing what wasn't meant for me.